Integument is the word used within the medical profession for skin. The integument is the outer covering of the body. It holds all the parts of the body inside and prevents unwanted things from getting into the body from the outside. The integument has 3 layers or regions: epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis, fat. The integument also contains accessory structures such as blood vessel, nerves, nails, hair, oil glands, and sweat glands. The regions of integument. The skin or integument has 3 major regions. The epidermis is the outer region of the integument. The dermis is the second region of the integument that lies beneath the epidermis. The hypodermis is located below the dermis region of skin. The epidermis. The epidermis is the outer region of the integument. Epi means upon, and derm means skin, so the epidermis is the upper region of skin. The epidermis is comprised of many layers of flattened cells that form a tissue called epithelial tissue. 2 important molecules are found in epithelial tissue: keratin and melanin. Keratin is a molecule found in the top layers of the epidermis. The upper layers of the epidermis are comprised of dead cells that contain keratin. Keratin makes the skin tough and waterproof. When you swim or bath, the keratin keeps water from entering your body through the skin. Melanin molecules are also located in the epidermis. The melanin is found in both living and dead cells in the epidermis. The function of melanin is to give color to person's skin and to protect the skin from the sun. People with darker skin have more melanin in their skin than people in lighter skin. How much melanin a person has in her skin depends on genetic. People whose ancestors came from the hot climates near the equator have more melanin than people whose ancestors came from the far north or far south. Sunlight contains ultraviolet UV rays that can cause skin cancer. Skin cancer, a tumor, is a group of cells that are multiplying in a rapid and uncontrolled way. Skin cancer occurs when something, usually too much exposure to UV rays. The harmful rays in the sunlight cause the cell in the skin multiply too fast. Sometimes the tumors develop from the mole, an area where melanin is concentrated. Mole look like a dark brown or black spot on the skin. If a person sees that a mole has changed, he or she should see a doctor to learn if it's skin cancer. If skin cancer is detected early, it can be treated. If not, it can spread to the rest of the body and may cause death. The epidermis also has a group of resident bacteria living on its surface. These bacteria are helpful because they have the job of fighting bad bacteria viruses that are trying to invade your body. Resident bacteria also secrete molecules that poison invading bacteria. The dermis and the hypodermis. The dermis is the second region of the integument. It lies beneath the epidermis and is thicker than the epidermis. The dermis contains mostly connective tissue. The function of this connective tissue is to hold the epidermis to the tissues below it, such as muscle and fat. In effect, the dermis holds the epidermis in place so that it doesn't fall off the body. The connective tissue within the dermis contains cells and 3 kinds of protein fibers. However, each type of fiber has a unique purpose. They are collagen fibers, give the skin strength, make it flexible, and hold water to moisturize the skin. Elastin fibers allow the skin to stretch. Reticular fibers act like a net to hold connective tissue together. Ligatures and calluses. When damage occurs in the dermis, such as a burn, the dermis may separate from the epidermis. The space between the dermis and epidermis then fills with the fluid. This is called blister. If a particular area of the skin is constantly rubbed against a hand object, like a saw and garden tool, it can cause that area of epidermis is thickened over the time and become hard. This is called a callus. The hypodermis is located below the dermis region of the skin. Hypo means under. The hypodermis is comprised of fat. This fat called adipose tissue. The function of adipose tissue is to provide protection for the organs and to insulate the body from cold. Adipose tissue varies in thickness among people. Some people whose ancestors come from the colder regions have more fat than people whose ancestry came from the tropical regions. This is because people in the colder regions need more body fat to stay warm. Accessory structures in the integument. The integument has several important accessory structures within its layers. The word accessory means extra or in addition. Accessory structures are the extra things inside the skin that can be located in one or more regions of the skin. Accessory structures include blood vessels, nerves, nails, hair, oil glands, and sweat glands. Blood vessels and nerves. Blood vessels bring nutrition, food, and oxygen to the cells of the integument. They also get rid of waste products. Blood vessels are located in the hypodermis and dermis region, but not in the epidermis. In place where the epidermis is very thin, like the inside of your wrist, you can actually see the larger blood vessels located in the dermis. Nerves are another accessory structure in the integument. Nerves allow us to have feeling in our skin. The tips of nerves that come closest to the surface of the skin are called sensory receptors. Each sensory receptor is specialized to feel specific stimulus. Some receptors feel heat, some feel pain, some feel pressure. When sensory receptors are stimulated, they cause electrical signals to be sent along the nerves to the brain or spinal cord. When electrical signals reach the brain, we realize that we feel cold or pain. Nails and hair. Nails are extensions of the epidermis found on the fingers and toes. Nails feel harder than skin because they contain large amounts of the special kind of keratin called hard keratin. Because our nails are strong, we use nails to pick up small things and scratch our skin. That's why our nails become dirty very easily. It's very important to keep our nails clean. Bacteria and fungi can live under the nail and in the nail bed, the place where the nails begin their growth. Fungi are larger than bacteria and include yeast and mold. Nails fungus. Sometimes people get an infection underneath their nails that is caused by fungus. An infection caused by fungus is called a mycosis. This infection can be very difficult to cure because it is hard to get the medication to the place where the fungus is growing, underneath the nail. Sometimes the entire nail has to be removed. Mycosis, plural of mycosis, are also difficult to cure because the cells of the fungus are similar to our own cells. This makes it hard to take antibiotic or antifungal that doesn't also harm our own cells. To avoid fungal infection, it is very important to use very clean tools when doing a manicure to keep nails clean. We often think about the hair our head and want it to look good. Actually, hair has several functions. For example, the brain in your nose filters the hair as you breathe and trap bacteria and virus before they can get in your lungs. Also, hair helps to protect you from getting hurt. A man who saved all his hair feels a hit on his head more than a person who has a full head of hair. Finally, hair helps with sensation because its sensory receptions are found near where hair begins its growth. Recall that sensory receptions are nerve ending. As a result, when something brushes against to touch a hair, you feel it. Hair is made from keratin similar to the keratin found in the layers of the epidermis. Keratin in our hair makes us waterproof and strong. Like the epidermis, hair also contains melanin. People with dark hair have more melanin in their hair than people with blonde hair. Hair begins its growth in the dermis inside little pockets called follicles, and then grows up through the dermis and epidermis until it reaches the outside of the body. Dandruff. Those little white flakes that you sometimes find on your shoulders after combining your hair and called dandruff. Dandruff is actually a natural part of the skin growth. The white flakes are the dead layer of the epidermis that fall off the skin naturally. Dandruff is caused by oil glands and that are either too active or not active enough. Scientists also think that some dandruff may occur when a normal skin fungus that lives on the scalp grows out of the control. Acne is an active inflammation, irritation, swelling of the sebaceous glands. This results in pimples on the skin. Bacteria cause acne, and acne can get worse due to an excess of hormones. As in the teenage years, stress can also worsen acne. Sweat glands are colored tubes found in the dermis region of the skin. They connect with the surface of the skin a tube, or duct. A person has over 2 million sweat glands in his skin. The function of sweat glands is to regulate body temperature is excreting quota, for example. When a person exercises, the body gets hot. They release this heat. The sweat glands take quota and some molecules such as salt out of the blood. Then this quota and salt, called sweat, travels through the dirt to the surface of the body. When the quota in sweat evaporate on the skin, it helps the body cool down. Other function of sweat glands is to rid the body of some waste molecules. These waste include urea, ammonia, and salt, which are waste products from cells. When the bacteria on the surface of the person's skin interact with these molecules, a person can smell bad. Temperature regulation and sweat glands. As you learn, the body strives to maintain an internal temperature of about 37 degrees C, or 98.6 degrees F. If the body gets too hot, some organ may be damaged. Let's look more closely at how the body maintains a constant temperature. When the body temperature rises, sensory receptors that measure temperature send messages to the part of the brain called hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is in charge of maintaining constant body temperature. When the temperature rises, the hypothalamus tells the sweat glands to excrete more quota and salt, which cools the body. It also causes more blood to be sent to the place where the skin is thin, such as the face, where heat can easily cross this thin skin to the outside of the skin. This is why some people's face look red when they are hot. Fever. When a person is sick, he often has fever. A body temperature above the normal body temperature is of 98.6 degree F or 37 degrees C. Here is one way that the body kills viruses, bacteria. A fever occurs when the hypothalamus raises the set point of the body temperature. In other words, it acts as though a higher temperature is normal. A mild fever is actually a good thing because it helps the body get rid of harmful bacteria and viruses. And I'm Nam, a medical student studying at Huế University of Medicine and Pharmacy, the host of this course. Thanks for your listening.